The house should have been empty. May stopped at the door like she'd stepped on something sharp. The air was still, nothing out of place. But the song came from inside. She reached for the handle. Her hand trembled, not cold, not fear exactly, just something old waking in her bones. She pushed the door open. There, in front of the fireplace, a girl sat cross-legged on the floor, her back to May. Her hair is uncombed, a little frayed bow at the collar, bare feet, and singing. Soft, clear, no stutter, no fumble. May stood in the doorway like a ghost in her own skin. The song wasn't one you'd find in any book, wasn't one folks remembered, wasn't one she'd sung in 30 years. "Mama?" May's voice cracked before she meant it to. The girl kept singing. Unbothered, May stepped forward, slow, heel to toe. The girl didn't flinch. May stopped a few feet away. "Where'd you learn that?" The girl finished the verse, let the last note fade. Then she turned her head. "I just knew it," she said. "You break in here?" "No." May looked toward the door. Lock hadn't been forced. Windows still latched. "You know whose house this is?" The girl nodded. "Yours." May crouched slightly. "What's your name?" "I don't know." "You don't know?" The girl looked back at the fire. "Not yet." May rubbed her jaw. "How old are you?" 12, I think." May stared. "You think?" The girl shrugged. May circled her slowly, staying out of reach, like the girl might vanish if she blinked too fast. The dress she wore was thin cotton. Old. The seams were hand-stitched. Familiar. May's voice dropped low. "Where do you get that dress?" The girl looked down at it like she hadn't noticed it until now. "Found it in a drawer." May narrowed her eyes. "In this house." The girl nodded once. May's throat tightened. She turned away, stared at the fire. The logs hadn't been stacked like that when she left this morning. "You light that yourself?" "No." "Then who did?" "I don't think you remember." May spun. "What?" The girl's gaze was steady, but there was something hollow behind it. May's fingers curled. "You don't talk like a child." The girl tilted her head. "Neither did you." May took a step back, hit the table. She grabbed the old rotary phone from the wall, turned the dial to the sheriff's office. 1 ring, 2, 3, then silence, then static, then, "Don't." May dropped the receiver. It hit the floor with a thud. The girl hadn't moved. "They won't come." May's voice was thin. "Why not?" "Because they never did." May's breath caught. She shook her head. "You're not real." "I know." The fire cracked. May stepped toward her again, more forceful this time. "Who sent you?" "No one." "You someone's child." The girl blinked. "Aren't we all?" May's hands shook now. She didn't try to hide it. "Where's your family?" "Same place as yours." May's mouth opened. No words. The girl patted the floor beside her. May didn't move. "It's okay," the girl said softly. "You're allowed to sit." May didn't know what made her do it. Maybe the quiet. Maybe the song. But she sat. The fire cast shadows on the walls. The girl leaned back slightly. "I used to think it was a dream," May said. "That song. I've only heard it once." The girl looked at her. "You didn't. You made it up." May looked at her sideways. "That's not true." "It is." May pressed her hand to her chest. "My mother sang it to me." "She only hummed it. You sang it first." May's face drained. "You weren't there." "I was close enough." May stood up fast. "You're not making any damn sense." "I don't have to. You already know." May clenched her jaw. She walked to the mantel. I looked at the old photo there. Her mother, half smiling, a ribbon in her hair, that same bow. May turned around. The girl was humming again. May walked toward her, furious now. "You think this is funny?" "No." "You think you can just show up in my house, wear her things, sing that song, talk in riddles?" The girl cut her off. "You buried her too shallow." May froze. "What did you say?" The girl looked at her, calm. The ground was still soft. "You didn't dig far." May's hands dropped to her sides. "You weren't there." The girl nodded once, but she was. May's throat tightened. She looked down at her boots. Dusty. Cracked. The room felt smaller. "Who are you?" she whispered. The girl didn't answer. May knelt again. "Please." The girl's eyes glistened just barely. "You already knew me." Once May searched her face. Something flickered, a shape behind the fire, a smell, violets, ash. I don't remember, May said. You do. May shook her head. I forgot her face. The girl leaned in. But you remembered the song. May's voice cracked. Why now? She needs you to remember. May sat back on her heels. The fire dimmed. The girl laid down on the rug like she was home. May watched her. Will you still be here in the morning? The girl didn't answer. May whispered, Are you a ghost? The girl blinked up at her. No. Then what? I'm what you left behind. May's lip quivered. I didn't mean to. The girl nodded. That's why I came. May reached out. The girl took her hand. The fire pulsed brighter. Outside, the wind shifted. May listened. The house had gone silent, except for the faintest hum, the last line of the song, the one May had never remembered, until now. May didn't sleep that night. She sat at the edge of her bed, boots still on, the fire downstairs long dead. The girl was still. Curled up on the rug when May checked on her, breathing steady, hand resting near the embers like it wasn't hot at all. The name hadn't come. Not from the girl's lips, not in any way that made sense. May stood at the top of the stairs and listened again. Silence. Too quiet for a house with two people in it. She went down slow, step by step, the old wood underfoot not creaking like it should have. When she reached the living room, the girl was gone from the rug. May turned. The girl was standing by the front window, staring out toward the pasture. She didn't flinch. You moved. The girl nodded. May crossed her arms. You gonna tell me your name this time? No. May waited. You don't remember it yet, the girl added. That's not how names work. The girl shrugged. This one does. May stepped closer. You run away from somewhere? No. Someone hurt you? No. You lie a lot? No. May narrowed her eyes. You just gonna stand there all night staring into the dark? I'm listening. To what? The girl tilted her head. It's in the stones. May looked past her. Just the porch, the bare trees, the field. You hear rocks talking? Number singing. May walked to the kitchen. You're not right in the head. I know. She picked up the phone again, dialed the sheriff's station. 1 ring. 2. The line hissed, then cut. May slammed it down. Damn thing. The girl turned slightly. You're not supposed to call him. May stared. And why's that? He already knows. May's hands shook a little. She tried to hide it. You need to tell me where you came from, May said. I didn't come from anywhere. You think I'm just going to let you stay here, sleep on my rug, wear my mother's things, walk around like you're part of this house? The girl didn't answer. May raised her voice. You're not. Still nothing. You're not mine. The girl blinked slowly. I never said I was. May clenched her jaw. You think you belong here? The girl finally turned all the way around. I don't think so. I feel it. May didn't speak. I followed the song, the girl said. It led here. May's voice was thin. That's not an answer. It's the only one I have. They stood in the hush of the room, fire gone cold, shadows soft across the floor. You got a last name, mystery girl? I told you. You didn't. I'm waiting for you to see it. May walked away without a word. She climbed the stairs, shut the door behind her, and leaned against it, breath shallow. The house was warmer now, and she didn't know why. Later she tossed in bed, eyes open in the dark, every creak sounding like the girl's footfall. When the morning light came, May rose early. The girl was asleep again, curled like a seed beneath the old quilt May didn't remember unfolding. May lit the stove, cooked nothing, just watched the flame. At noon, she searched the drawers. If the girl came from somewhere, she'd left something behind. She didn't find a bag, didn't find a note. But in the hallway, near the crooked picture frame, one board was looser than the others. May pried it with her fingers. It groaned. Behind it, dust. An old paper scrap folded 4 times, a broken ribbon, and carved deep into the wood, a name, Evie. May stared. Below it, faded but unmistakable, was her mother's handwriting. Her hand started to shake. She stood up fast, heart thudding. She went downstairs. The girl was waiting on the bottom step. May held the folded paper tight. You said I'd remember it. The girl blinked. It's Evie. The girl didn't nod, didn't speak. You carved it. No. Don't lie to me. I didn't have to. May looked down at the paper. She didn't open it. Not yet. You know what this says? Yes. Tell me. I can't. Won't? I'm not allowed near it yet. May paused. Near what? The girl looked past her, out the front door, toward the well. May turned slowly. The stone ring sat in the pasture's edge, worn, moss-eaten. You scared of the well? No. Then what? The girl's voice softened. It's not my time. May opened the door. Cold air rushed in. She stepped out into the yard. Stay there, she told the girl. She crossed the dead grass, boots crunching. The well was sealed with a thick plank, nailed across. May pulled at it. It didn't budge. She yanked again. Still didn't move. Behind her, the girl stood at the porch, silent. May stepped back, wind biting at her coat. She shouted across the field. Are you saying something's in there? The girl didn't answer. May stormed back toward the porch. You better stop playing whatever game this is. I'm not playing. You expect me to believe you came out of nowhere, don't got a name, don't eat, don't sleep proper. The girl cut her off. I ate. You just didn't see it. May stopped. The girl looked down at her feet. You used to eat on the porch. Your mama made cornbread. You didn't like crusts. May stared. You cried when she scraped it off. May turned away, shaking her head. No. She said you were too soft for this place. Said you'd end up just like her. May's voice cracked. Shut up. The girl whispered, but you didn't. May's legs buckled. She sat on the step. How do you know all that? The girl sat beside her. You told me. Once. When? You were little and quiet. But you sang. May pressed her hands to her eyes. I used to sit here, she whispered. I waited for her shadow in the field. I know. May let the paper fall from her lap. It fluttered. Down the step. The girl didn't pick it up. May did. Unfolded it. It was blank, except for one faint mark near the bottom, a small circle, and the word, keep. May stared. What's that mean? The girl leaned her head on May's shoulder. It means I'm still yours. May didn't cry, but she didn't move either. The wind picked up. The well stood silent, but May swore she could hear something hum beneath the stones. The humming started before dawn. May sat up in bed, heart pounding. It came from inside the walls, not loud, not sharp, just steady, like someone was humming into her waterline. She moved slowly, bare feet touching the floor. The girl wasn't in the corner chair where she'd fallen asleep. May walked out into the hallway. The sound shifted. It wasn't coming from the walls anymore. It was in the pipes, in the sink, the toilet, the bathtub upstairs. She stepped down the hall. The bathroom door was cracked open. A sound like water. May pushed it wider. The tub was full, black water, still as glass. No one had run the tap. The humming rose again, soft, like it was inside the drain. May stepped back. Her throat clenched. Then she saw it. Wet footprints down the hall, small, bare. She followed them slowly, past the stairs, toward the back of the house. The girl stood in the hallway, eyes open but empty, her nightdress soaked to the hem. Evie, May whispered. The girl didn't turn. May stepped closer. Evie. Still nothing. May reached out, touched her shoulder. The girl gasped, looked at her like she hadn't seen her in days. You're sleepwalking, May said. The girl blinked. I wasn't. You were standing here like a statue, you don't remember? I remember everything. May's voice dropped. Why are your feet wet? The girl didn't answer. May grabbed her wrist. Where were you? I don't know. You went outside. I think so. May pulled her toward the door. We'll see. She stepped out first, cold air tightening her chest. The porch boards were dry, but the path to the well was soaked. Not rain. It hadn't rained. Just wet grass, puddled mud. The well's cover was dark with moisture, the wood swollen like it had been soaked for hours. May stepped toward it. The girl stayed back. You came out here. The girl's voice was quiet. No. Then what is this? The girl stared at the well. It remembers. What does? The girl looked down. You shouldn't have left it closed so long. May turned to her. You touched the well? No. But it's wet. The girl looked up. So are you. May stepped back and looked at her arms. She was right. Her sleeves were damp to the elbow. She hadn't touched anything. May walked fast back to the porch, boots sliding in the mud. She grabbed the girl's arm again. Why's the water black? I didn't put it there. You didn't sleep all night. I did. You walked through this house like something else was moving you. I was listening. To what? The girl turned her head. To the stones again. May shouted, You need to stop saying that. The girl didn't flinch. You need to start remembering. May dragged her inside, slammed the door. She didn't let go of the girl's arm until they reached the kitchen. You don't touch that well again. I didn't. I don't care. Don't go near it. Don't speak to it. Don't think about it. The girl whispered, Too late. May leaned on the table trying to breathe. The humming in the pipes had stopped. The girl sat on the floor like she was waiting for something. May looked down at her. Why are you here? The girl looked back. You buried me too far down. May froze. She couldn't speak. The girl's voice didn't change. That's why it took so long. To climb back. May stepped away from the table. You're not making sense. The girl closed her eyes. Not yet. May opened the cellar door. The air smelled like rot and paper. She grabbed the flashlight from the shelf, clicked it on, and went down the stairs. The boxes were stacked where her mother left them. She pulled down the second one from the top. Records, dates, names, ledger paper, handwritten notes, well measurements, repairs, readings. May flipped through page after page. The last entry had her mother's name on it, dated the summer before the fire. At the bottom of the stack, one sheet was missing. She knew it was gone. The number skipped. There was a note. See final page. But there was no final page. May closed the box. I walked back up. The girl was sitting in the same spot. May dropped the ledger on the table. Are you hiding pages now? The girl looked up. No. One's missing. Maybe someone took it. Who? The girl shrugged. Who do you think? May pointed toward the cellar. You've never been down there. Not this time. May slammed her hand on the table. Enough. The girl stood, quietly. You want the truth? Yes. Then stop fighting the pieces. May stepped toward her. You said I buried you. The girl nodded. May's eyes narrowed. You're not her. No. You're not mine. No. Then who are you? The girl tilted her head. What's the song say? May whispered. Don't. You wrote it. You forgot you wrote it. May's mouth opened. That's not true. You sang it to keep her quiet. You sang it while she cried. May took a step back. The girl followed. You remember now? May shook her head. I didn't. You did. May turned away. It wasn't like that. She was just a baby. May covered her ears. Stop. She didn't mean to fall in. May turned fast. What? The girl's face softened. She wasn't heavy. The lid wasn't nailed. May's knees buckled. She gripped the chair. I didn't. The girl knelt in front of her. May's breath came in gasps. That wasn't me. I was just a girl. May wept quietly. The girl reached for her hand. But you remembered the song. May didn't pull away. The pipes groaned again. The humming returned, low and deep. May whispered, What's it want? The girl leaned in. Not what? Who? May looked at her. The girl smiled faintly. You. The light above them flickered. The cellar door creaked open by itself. May didn't look. She just held on tighter. May didn't tell the girl where they were going, just handed her a coat and opened the truck door. The girl climbed in without asking. They didn't speak the whole ride down the dirt road. Gravel hit the undercarriage in soft rhythms. May didn't turn the radio on. The barn sat low on the edge of the sheriff's land, half slumped into itself. The sun hadn't broken through the clouds yet. May parked in the dirt and killed the engine. Get out. The girl looked at her. May didn't repeat it. They walked across the patchy grass together, boots crunching, no sound but wind through the dry slats. May knocked once on the barn door. Sheriff. Nothing. May pushed it open. Inside, the scent of oil and feed. A single bulb hanging. Dust floated through it like sleep. Sheriff Harlan stood at the far end, back turned, polishing a rusted badge that didn't belong to him anymore. He didn't look up. May stepped forward. Harlan. He turned slowly, stared at the girl behind her. May nodded once. She showed up at my place. He didn't blink. Who is she? I was hoping you'd tell me. Harlan walked closer, boots dragging. Runaway? No papers. Foster? No record. He looked at the girl. What's your name? The girl didn't answer. Harlan sighed. Quiet one. May's voice was low. She's not quiet at home. She speaks in riddles? Worse. Harlan knelt a bit. You eat? The girl nodded. You sleep? Yes. Where'd you come from? I followed the song. Harlan stood up slowly. May watched his jaw clench. What song? He asked. The girl looked up at him, then hummed. 3 notes, then 5, then a small curling turn. Harlan staggered back. May caught his arm. You okay? He didn't speak. The girl finished the verse. Silence fell around them. Harlan whispered, I haven't heard that since... May said nothing. He looked at her. The fire. I know. You stopped talking after. I know that too. The girl stepped forward. You weren't supposed to forget it. Harlan stared. May grabbed the girl's hand. Stop. The girl didn't. It wasn't hers alone, she said. May gritted her teeth. You said that already. She taught it to you, the girl told Harlan. His face changed. No. She did, the girl insisted, behind the shed, while you watched her sew. May turned. What? Harlan's voice cracked. I don't... She sang while she stitched, and you told her to hush, but she wouldn't. Harlan stepped back. I don't remember that. You do, the girl said. May stared at him. You were with her before the fire. Why didn't you say that? Because it didn't matter. May's voice was sharp. It did to her. Harlan didn't look at her. The girl whispered, he used to bring her things. Harlan turned to her. You stopped that. She hid them on the floor. I said stop. May stepped between them. You knew she was afraid. I was trying to help her. May shook her head. You let them take her name. No one took it. Yes, they did, the girl said. They burned it. The barn went quiet again, just the sound of ropes swinging in the rafters. May's voice dropped. She wrote something about the well. I know. 1 page is missing. I took it. May stiffened. Why? Harlan's eyes fell. Because it said your name, too. The girl whispered, she wasn't supposed to be next. May stepped forward. Next for what? Harlan sighed. Your mama was keeping track. Names of girls gone missing. Over the years. Said the well wasn't dry. I remembered something. May swallowed. She was right, the girl said. Harlan looked at her. You're not real. The girl nodded. Neither were the lies you told. May turned to him. You knew this whole time? I knew something wasn't right. And you said nothing. I was trying to protect you. May's voice was hollow. Like you protected her? Harlan flinched. The girl said. She screamed. You heard her. May didn't breathe. You heard her, the girl repeated. Harlan's hand trembled at his side. May stepped back. You left her there. I couldn't stop it. You could have. I was 17. May's voice broke. You let her die. No one listened to her. No one believed her. I did, the girl said. May turned. You're not her. No. Then who are you? Her echo. Harlan wiped his face. You're not going to let this go, are you? May shook her head. No. He looked at the girl. She can't be on the list. You understand me? May narrowed her eyes. Why not? Because if they know she's here, they'll come looking. Who? You already know. May said nothing. Harlan moved toward the back of the barn, opened a drawer, pulled out a worn ledger. He handed it to May. Don't put her name in this. May took it. You used to write every name. Not this one. May looked at the girl. She doesn't belong to them. She doesn't belong to anyone, Harlan said. The girl smiled faintly. May asked, So what do I do? Harlan looked at her hard. Keep her off the list, just for now. May turned to leave. Harlan stopped her. May. She turned. That song died with her. The girl whispered, No. They both looked back. She stepped into the light. It went underground. Then I walked out into the cold. May didn't speak when they got back. She carried the girl's satchel in one hand, stiff, like it might bite. The girl walked behind her, barefoot again, silent. They didn't look at each other. The fire in the house had gone cold. May dropped the satchel on the kitchen table. It landed with a dull weight. She untied the flap. The girl sat in the doorway, knees pulled to her chest, watching. May unfolded the fabric. She stopped breathing. The dress lay still in her hands. Pale blue floral hem, thin collar, hand-stitched sleeves, damp. She touched the stitching, fresh, clean. Tighter than her mother's used to be, but the shape was exact. The weight is familiar. May stepped back. Where did you get this? The girl didn't answer. May snapped, Where? The girl whispered. It was given to me. May's jaw clenched. By who? The girl looked down. By her. That's not possible. The girl didn't move. May ran her fingers along the collar, a small tear still there, left shoulder seam. She remembered it, the same spot she'd tugged on when she was 5. This was buried with her, May said. Yes. They lowered her in this. I know. She's underground. The girl's voice was steady. So was I. May flung the dress back onto the table. The fabric slapped against the wood. She turned toward the fireplace, shoved kindling into the hearth with shaking hands. The girl stood. Don't. May didn't listen. She grabbed the dress, threw it onto the flames. The blue caught fast. Orange licked the hem. The girl screamed. The fire died. May fell backward, arms out, staring. The hearth was quiet. No smoke, no heat, no flame. The dress sat there, unburned, damp again. May whispered, What in God's name? She said not to burn it. May looked up. Who? She did. May pushed herself up slowly. The girl stepped toward the hearth. She said to give it back. May picked the dress up with the poker, held it like it was a disease. She gave you this? Yes. In the well? She kept it close. May touched the fabric. Cold. Heavy. Are you saying she's alive? No. Then how? She's still watching. May turned. That's not possible. She was waiting. For what? For you. May laughed once, short and bitter. I was a child. She knows. I didn't leave her. You forgot. May's fists shook. You don't know what happened. I do. You weren't there. I was underneath it. May backed away. She sewed it before the fire. The girl said. May shook her head. No. She stitched your name. May froze. She stitched all of them. The girl walked to the table, pulled the dress closer, turned them. May saw it, tiny gray thread in the seam, barely visible. She reached out. Her fingers brushed over the letters. M-H, then another. E-V. May looked up. Evie. The girl nodded. She remembered. May sat down in the chair slowly. Why'd she stitch us into this? She said the one stitched couldn't be taken. May swallowed hard. That's not true. She believed it. May pressed her palms to her eyes. It didn't work. The girl stared at the fire. I couldn't stop what happened, May said. I didn't even know. She did. May whispered. She thought it'd protect us. The girl sat beside her. It was all she had. May looked at the fireplace. Why won't it light again? The girl said, It remembers being used wrong. May rubbed her arms. She burned in this house. The girl nodded. She screamed for me. Yes. I didn't hear. You did. You were just too young to carry it. May lowered her head. The girl said, She told me to find you. May looked over. When? When she faded. May stood. You're not her child. No. You're not mine. No. But you carry her words. I carry what she left. May paced to the sink. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't have to. May turned. You came out of nowhere. I came from where you buried everything. May stared. I didn't bury anything. You buried your name, your sound, the one you sang. May leaned against the wall. That song was hers. It was yours first. May's voice dropped. I don't remember writing it. You didn't. You hummed it until she wrote it down. May looked at the dress again. This was the funeral dress. Yes. She wore it in the coffin. She took it off before. May blinked. You're saying, what? She wasn't in there. She was. Just not the way they thought. May walked toward the girl. What else do you know? She left you a page. May frowned. In the ledger? No. Where? On the floor. May turned toward the stairs. The girl stood first. You won't find it alone. May waited. The girl pointed to the old bedroom upstairs. May hadn't gone in there since the fire, since the walls turned black and the smell took weeks to leave. May walked up slowly, the girl behind her, barefoot again. The door creaked when it opened. Everything was dusty. Still. Her mother's sewing chair is untouched. An old mirror cracked at the edge. May stepped to the corner, pulled the loose plank. Beneath it, folded parchment. She opened it. Familiar handwriting. One line. If they take me, stitch her into what's left. May read it again. She meant you, she whispered. The girl didn't answer. May sat down on the edge of the bed. Her hands trembled. She wanted you saved, the girl said. May nodded. The girl sat beside her. She thought you were too soft. She wasn't wrong. She didn't say it like that. May's eyes filled. She just wanted me to live. She did more than that. May looked at the paper. She left me pieces. She trusted you'd sew them back. May exhaled. Long. Slow. They sat together in silence, the dress folded between them. May whispered, "She died alone." No. She thought I forgot her. She knew you'd hear the song again. May stood, carried the dress to the hearth once more. She didn't try to burn it this time. She hung it on the back of the chair. The thread shimmered faintly in the firelight. The girl sat on the rug. "Will it light again?" May asked. "Maybe." "When?" "When you stop trying to burn the past." May picked up the matchbox, struck one. The flame held. She lit the fire. It took. The girl smiled. May sat back, arms crossed. The house warmed. The wind outside settled. The stitches in the dress didn't move, but May felt them. Names she'd nearly lost. Names she wasn't ready to say. Yet. The fire didn't light that morning. May tried twice, 3 times. The matches were caught. The kindling didn't. The smoke curled and vanished like it had somewhere else to be. The girl stood barefoot on the rug, staring at the hearth like she'd been waiting for it to die. May gave up. "You break it?" "No." "Sure?" The girl nodded. "It's not broken. It's quiet." May poured water for the kettle. "You're naming silence now?" The girl turned toward her. "I know where the letters are." May stopped. "What letters?" "She left them for you." "Who?" "You know who." May set the kettle down harder than she meant to. "Speak plain." The girl stepped closer to the hearth. "They're under the stone." May folded her arms. "There's nothing under the stone." "Yes, there is." "You got X-ray eyes." "I don't need eyes." May stared at her. "You want me to pull up the hearth?" "They're waiting." May exhaled. "You keep saying that it means something." "It does." May walked to the broom closet, pulled out the crowbar. The girl moved to the side without flinching. May knelt at the edge of the stone, worked the bar into the seam, leaned. It cracked. She lifted it slowly. Just dirt. Dry. Packed. She dug with her fingers. Nothing. She tried a second stone. More dirt. More nothing. She sat back. There. Happy. The girl said nothing. May replaced the stone, brushed her hands off. "You want me to pretend something's there?" "No." "Because I won't." "You don't have to." May dropped the bar. "This is getting old." She wrote on the ash. May stared. "Ash don't hold ink." "It wasn't ink." May shook her head. "You really expect me to—" "I'm not asking." May wiped her palms. "You're not reading anything. You just talk like it's there." The girl sat on the rug again, cross-legged. May returned to the stove. Water boiled. She poured tea, sat at the table, watched. The girl placed her hand flat against the hearthstone. "She says she's sorry," the girl whispered. May's hand stopped mid-air. "She says she wanted to take you, but she couldn't. Not with the names they were after." May stood up. "No." "She says she sewed yours to hide you." "Stop." "She says she watched from the fire. That night." May gripped the chair. "You don't know." "She says you were asleep when they came." May turned. "Who?" "She doesn't name them, just says they knocked twice." May sat down, slowly. The girl didn't lift her head. "She says she begged them, said you were too small. They laughed." May's voice dropped. "That didn't happen." "It did." "I would have remembered." "You weren't supposed to." May's hands trembled. "I buried her. I saw the grave. She says it wasn't her first." May blinked. "What?" "She says she buried another before herself." May pressed her palm flat on the table. The girl continued. "She says the town stopped asking. The names faded from the ledger, but not from the thread." May whispered, "Enough." The girl's voice didn't change. "She says she knows who's missing." May stood again. "You're not reading." "I don't have to." "You're lying." "No." "She never wrote any of that." "She did." May walked over. "Then show me." The girl lifted her palm. The stone beneath was bare. "She said you wouldn't see it." May turned away. "Convenient." "She said you'd doubt her." "Of course I doubt her." "She says you've done that your whole life." May faced her. "Then why leave messages I can't see?" The girl looked up because she knew I'd read them. May blinked hard. You said you weren't her daughter. I'm not. Then why you? She says I was closest to the edge. May stepped back. That doesn't mean anything. She says I listened when no one else did. May leaned against the doorframe. She says you stopped singing after she burned. May's lips parted. She says you tried to forget the melody, but you couldn't. May whispered, I don't remember it. You do. May shook her head. She says it's in your teeth. May laughed once, bitter. That's nonsense. She says you hum it in your sleep. May felt her legs weaken. She stitched it into your breath. May sat down hard. She says she still hums from the well. May rubbed her eyes. You're just a child. I'm stitched. You say that like it makes you special. I didn't say it. She did. May reached for the matchbox, struck one. It burned out. She says the fire won't rise until you listen. May struck another, dead. She says the last letter is the one she screamed. May turned. What? She says that scream never reached the surface. It's still down there. May's voice cracked. Where? In the water. May looked to the window, toward the well. She says it echoes. May stood slowly. Then I'll go hear it myself. She says you'll need the dress. May turned. Why? She says it remembers. May walked past her. I'm not playing this. The girl stood too. She says if you open it, be ready. May reached the door. She says they might still be listening. May stopped. The room was quiet. The girl stood in the same spot, not breathing hard, not blinking fast, just waiting. May walked back to the hearth, sat across from her. What does the last letter say? The girl placed her hand on the stone again. She says she forgives you. May said nothing. She says she tried to leave the door open, but the fire closed it. May stared at the cold ash. She says you're the only one who can open it now. May whispered, open what? The last stitch. May leaned in. Where is it? In the seam. May stood, went to the chair, picked up the dress, laid it flat across her lap. She searched for them again, her initials, Evie's. Then one more stitch tucked into the corner. Tight, different thread. She reached for the seam, unpicked it. Inside was a folded scrap of linen, blank. May held it to the fire. No writing showed. She turned to the girl. It's empty. The girl nodded. She said you'd have to speak it yourself. May held it tight. She says the fire will hear you. May swallowed, then said quietly, Mama. The lantern flickered. May kept going. I'm sorry I left the room. The flame rose. I'm sorry I forgot the song. It rose higher. I'm sorry I couldn't hear you. The firebox crackled. Then, finally, the logs caught. The girl smiled. May whispered, What now? She says to keep reading. The letters finally began to burn, but they did not vanish. They sang. The first knock came just after breakfast. May opened the door halfway. Pastor Emmert stood there in his black coat and thin smile, fingers clutching a pamphlet already, creased at the corners. I heard you've taken someone in. May nodded. Cousin's daughter. Didn't know you had cousins. They don't talk much. He tried to peer past her. The girl stood behind May in the hallway, still, hands at her sides, face unreadable. She's quiet, Emmert said. May didn't move. He handed her the pamphlet. We've got space in the Sunday choir. We're not going. He lingered. Young voices are good for the soul. May looked at the girl. She doesn't sing. The girl said nothing. Emmert offered a short nod, like something unfinished. Well, Lord be with you. May closed the door before he turned. She doesn't like him, the girl said. May walked back to the stove. You don't know him. He hides it behind the collar. May poured coffee. What's he hiding? The girl blinked. He watched her burn. May didn't respond. The second knock came 2 days later. Mrs. Kramer from the school board. Glasses too small. Clipboard too full. May opened the door wide enough to let the lie out. We're enrolling for the winter session, Kramer said. Saw lights in your place. Heard from the mailman you've got a child now. May nodded. Family matter. Is she yours? Cousin's girl. Evelyn. Last name. Hill. Age. 12. Kramer scribbled. She'll need shots. May folded her arms. She's not staying long. Still, best to register her while you can. She learns here. Kramer didn't look satisfied. The state might not agree. May held her gaze. The state doesn't live in this house. Kramer stepped back. We'll follow up. May closed the door slowly. The girl sat on the stairs. She didn't ask if I was cast. May stared. What? The girl said. She looked hard but didn't see. May walked over. See what? The girl turned her face. My shadow's gone. May stood still. You had one yesterday. Not anymore. May reached out. The girl didn't move. May stepped into the light. She cast long across the floorboards. The girl didn't cast at all. May backed up. The girl whispered, They're forgetting. Who? Everyone. May's jaw tightened. That's not how forgetting works. It is when you're stitched. May didn't ask what that meant. Not this time. The third visitor was Marla Jenkins, an old friend turned neighbor, Turntown Whisper. May opened the door with her hand still damp from dishes. Marla smiled without warmth. Heard music from your place the other night? Wind, probably. Sounded like a lullaby. May shrugged. Old house. Echoes. Marla looked past her. You've got someone here. May nodded. Niece. Marla crossed her arms. Is she the one out near the pasture? Maybe. She stood still too. Long. May's voice was flat. She thinks better in the dark. Marla gave a tight smile. She's not like the others. May leaned on the frame. She's not supposed to be. You don't worry what folks might say? May said. Not anymore. Marla glanced back toward the road. Some things don't stay buried, May. May's voice dropped. Some things shouldn't be. Marla's mouth twitched. She left without another word. That night, May watched the girl from the window. She stood in the pasture, same spot as always, toes near the well's overgrown edge. The wind moved everything except her. May stepped outside. The grass hissed beneath her boots. The girl didn't turn. You're freezing, May said. The girl whispered, They're loud tonight. May stood beside her. Who? The girl pointed to the well. They hum when it's close. May stared. Close to what? Remembering. May said, You said you drank it. The girl nodded. They made me. Who? The ones who stitched the list. May's voice dropped. What was in it? Silence. May stared at the sealed wood lid. How's that taste? Like stone. And names I couldn't hold. May's hands curled. You spit it back. The girl nodded. They were angry. May looked at her face. Are you sure you're real? The girl shrugged. I stayed. May pointed toward the house. You're coming inside. They don't like fire. May reached for her wrist. It was cold. She pulled her gently toward the porch. The fire lit on the second strike. No fight, no tricks, just warmth. May added a log. The girl sat cross-legged on the floor. May sipped from a chipped mug. Do you remember them? All of them. The ones the town forgot? The girl nodded. May asked, They like being forgotten. They didn't have a choice. May stared at the flames. You talk like you're one of them. I'm what they left behind. May said, That doesn't explain you. The girl looked up. You already knew me. May turned away. Stop saying that. The girl touched the stitching on the dress folded on the chair. May didn't stop her. You want me to leave? The girl asked. May's voice was quiet. Don't ask that. They used to knock like this. May looked up. The girl tapped twice on the floorboards. May froze. 2 knocks, then a silence. Then the name is gone. May whispered, You were here? I was under. May shook her head. You're saying you died here? I wasn't stitched fast enough. May stood, pacing now. The girl stayed seated. She tried. May turned. My mother? The girl nodded. She ran out of thread. May's throat tightened. I was next. The girl said. Then you. May sat down again. Why me? She said you sang before you. Spoke. May laughed once. She said that? She stitched the song in case you forgot. May looked at the fire. I tried to forget. I know. May leaned forward. You said they're forgetting you. The girl nodded. Then what happens when they do? The girl's voice was soft. I go back under. May's eyes burned. And if I remember. The girl smiled faintly. Then the next name doesn't get taken. May sat still. The fire crackled softly. Outside, the town windows all stayed dark. No one asked again. No one knocked. No one noticed when the girl's shadow didn't come back. But May saw it. and kept the fire lit anyway. The house warmed before the fire lit. May noticed it first in the hallway. Boards are too warm for morning. The air is thick. Still, she checked the hearth. Cold. The girl stood at the kitchen door, barefoot, staring at the floor like it had spoken. May stepped beside her. "Why's it hot?" The girl didn't answer. May crouched, laid her palm to the boards. Warm. Too warm. She stood slowly. "You smell smoke?" "No." "You sure?" The girl nodded. May walked room to room, touched the walls, felt the heat rise from below like something was cooking in the foundation. She went upstairs. The girl's room was still. May pushed open the door. The girl's bed sat heavy in the corner. The boards beneath it glowed faint in the low light, like coals in hiding. May stepped closer, touched the floor. Hot, not burned, but close. She grabbed the crowbar from the closet. The girl appeared in the doorway. May didn't look up. "Are you hiding something?" "No." May wedged the bar beneath the first plank, pulled hard. The board lifted. Dry smoke puffed up. May coughed, waved it away, pulled another. Below, blackened dirt, a strange gleam. She dropped to her knees, reached down. Her hand came back holding something small. Metal. She brushed the soot. A locket, twisted, burnt half through. The chain melted to the clasp. May turned to the girl. "You put this here?" "No." May stood. "Where'd it come from?" "She gave it to me." "Who?" "You know." May knelt again, dug deeper with her hands. Bits of teeth, not full, just fragments, yellowed, cracked. May jerked back. "What is this?" The girl said nothing. May shouted, "Speak." "She buried them here." May stood fast. "Who?" "She couldn't take them with her." May's voice cracked. "So she left them on the floor. She said this room would stay warm." May looked around. "She said that?" "Yes." May pointed to the locket. "Whose is that?" "She never told me the name." May screamed, "Enough!" The girl didn't move. May stepped forward. "What are you?" The girl tilted her head. "What you would have been if they hadn't buried your name." May froze. "What does that mean?" The girl blinked. "She tried to stitch you in, but they found her first." May's breath hitched. She sewed fast, but not deep enough. May looked at the floor. "You came from this?" "Yes." "This house?" "Yes." May dropped into the chair. "How many?" The girl sat on the floor. "I don't count them." "You should." "They already know who they are." May stared at her. "Do I?" The girl touched the locket. "You knew one." May looked down. The floor was hot again. Dry heat. Not fire, just pressure, like something breathing. She whispered, "Is this hell?" "No." "Then what is it?" "It's a memory." May whispered, "And you're part of it." "I was left behind in the seam." May pointed to the ground. "These are bones." "Yes." "This is cursed." "No." "Feels cursed." "It's just unfinished." May stood. "What do I do with this?" "Name them." "I don't know their names." "You do." May stepped toward her. "You're not supposed to be real." "I know." May leaned against the wall. The air felt heavier. The floor hummed beneath her feet. Not music, not wind, just vibration. Deep, low, alive. May whispered, "Something's under us." "Yes." "It's waking." "It never slept." May's fingers trembled. "What do I do?" "Remember." May whispered, "How?" The girl said, "Start with the stitch." May looked toward the dress, still hanging on the back of the chair. She crossed the room, lifted it gently, ran her fingers beneath the hem. Names, small, tight. A third one now, not stitched in thread, burned into the fabric. Marrow May's knees buckled. She sat. "That wasn't there before." "It was." "No, it wasn't." "You just couldn't see it." May looked at the girl. "Who was she?" "She was first." May ran a hand through her hair. "How old?" 7. May held the locket tighter. "This hers?" "Yes." May whispered, "How did she die?" The girl looked down. "Same way you almost did." May pressed the locket to her chest. The heat from the floor spread up her legs. Not burning, just insistence. The house creaked deep in its bones. The sound came from beneath. Low. Groaning. May looked toward the hallway. "What's that?" "The ones who remember." May stood. "They're alive." "No." "They're trying to be." "They're asking for the last name." May backed up. I'm not giving it. You already have. May said. I didn't say it. You let me in. May pointed. You came uninvited. I came through what you left open. May shouted, this is my house. It was hers. May grabbed the crowbar again. Then maybe I should tear the rest up. The girl stood. You won't find peace. I'll find the truth. You'll find what she buried. May raised the bar. Are you afraid of what's deeper? No. Then let's go. The girl stepped aside. May ripped another board, then another. Smoke curled up, not choking, but not clean. The dirt was black, not from fire, from memory. May stared. The floor shuddered. May dropped the crowbar. The heat surged through the room. Every wall creaked. The girl didn't move. May whispered, what's happening? They're calling you back. Back to what? To finish it. May stepped back. Finish what? The stitching. May looked down at the dress. The hem moved in her hands. A new thread shimmered. A fourth name. May. The fire lit on its own. The walls held their breath. May stood in silence. The humming never stopped. May hadn't touched a shovel since the funeral. That morning, she took it from the shed without a word. The metal was rusted near the neck. The handle splintered. It still fits in her hand. The girl waited by the pasture fence, barefoot, hair uncombed. She didn't smile. May said, show me. The girl pointed past the tree line. May followed. The field stretched quiet, yellow grass swaying low. The well sat hunched at the far end, its old wood cover heavy with moss nailed in tight. The girl stopped just shy of it. May kept walking. She circled the well once, then again. The girl pointed to the dirt a few steps back. Start here. May drove the shovel in. The earth gave too easily, damp near the bottom. She turned one row, then another. The girl stood still. May asked, what am I looking for? You'll know. May scoffed. That's not an answer. The girl said nothing. May dug deeper. 4 feet in, the blade hit wood. She dropped to her knees, cleared the soil with her hands. A small plank, uneven, cracked. She lifted it. Inside, nothing but ash. A scrap of cloth. A button, black and dull. No name. May looked up. Who's this? The girl knelt beside the hole. She whispered, that one's hers. May said, whose? She still waits. May stood. You going to give me a name or keep haunting me in riddles? The girl touched the edge of the grave. She came before all of us. May whispered, what happened to her? They never wrote her down. May stepped back. So she was first. The girl nodded. Before the list. May leaned on the shovel. Where's the next? The girl pointed to the left. May moved over 5 steps, dug again. This time, not as deep. The shovel struck wood. She cleared it, heart heavy. The top was smoother, hand cut. A charcoal mark across it, letters smeared from rain. M.H. May froze. Her knees buckled. She sat beside it, silent. The girl said, they weren't sure you'd survive. May didn't look at her. They dug it early, the girl said. May whispered, why is it here? She sewed you into the song. It saved you. May touched the edge. I don't remember this. You were too young. May's fingers trembled. She knew. The girl nodded. That they were coming. That they wanted your name. May closed her eyes. And hers. They burned it first. May stared at the wood. It was empty beneath, but it didn't feel empty. The girl pointed again. Third one's there. May dragged herself to her feet, moved 5 steps right, dug slower this time. The earth resisted more. Deeper down, she hit bone. Not full, not clean, just remnants. A cross piece of wood jammed into the soil. A word scratched into it. Evie May whispered, you knew. The girl nodded. May said, why didn't you tell me before? You weren't ready. May's voice dropped. Ready for what? To hear your own name spoken back. May turned toward the well. It stood unchanged, sealed shut. Nails rusted through. She walked toward it. The girl didn't follow. May touched the lid. It was warm. She leaned closer. From inside, humming. Faint, childlike. May backed away. She looked at the girl. It's singing. The girl whispered, it never stopped. May dropped the shovel. That's not possible. The girl said, it sings the names that were taken. May stepped back toward the graves. 3 of them, all small. 2 small. 1 blank. 1 Evie. 1 hers. May said, so I died once. You almost did. And her? She never got to. May's breath caught. The first one. The girl nodded. She's still under? She's waiting. For what? For someone to say her name. May walked to the blank grave. She knelt, ran her hand across the rough wood. I don't know. You do. May closed her eyes. I was a baby. You were there. May whispered. I don't remember. She remembered you. May pressed her forehead to the plank. The girl knelt beside her. You hummed to her. She smiled. Then they took her away. May's lip quivered. I forgot. The girl said, That's what they wanted. May reached into her pocket, pulled the linen scrap from the dress seam. She unfolded it. Blank. Still blank. But now the fabric was warm. She pressed it to the wood. The dirt shifted. The girl looked toward the well. The humming grew louder. May stood. The air changed. Everything around the house bent quiet. No birds, no wind, just humming. May said, What happens now? She hears you. May whispered, Who? The girl turned toward the well. The first one. May looked again at the blank plank. It began to smoke. The name didn't burn in. It bloomed. Adeline May said it aloud. The humming stopped. For the first time since she met the girl, there was real silence. Not absence, relief. The girl sat beside the grave. She's not alone anymore. May stared at her. What about you? I was never meant to stay long. May stepped forward. You're leaving? The girl nodded. You remember now. May crouched. What was I supposed to do? Finish the stitch. May looked back at the dress. The hem flapped once in a wind that didn't touch anything else. A new name now. Adeline. May whispered, Where will you go? The girl said, Back to the seam. May touched her cheek. I don't want to forget again. The girl smiled. You won't. May asked, Will I see you? The girl stood. Every time you hear the song. May stood with her. The girl walked toward the well. May didn't stop her. The girl paused at the edge. She looked back once and then, without a sound, she was gone. Not swallowed, not taken, returned. The humming didn't start again. It didn't need to. The graves stayed quiet, and May, for the first time, felt the ground hold steady beneath her. The house had stopped humming. May stood in the doorway of the girl's room. The bed was made. The quilt untouched, no heat rising from the floor. The locket still lay on the windowsill, twisted shut. Everything is still too. She found the girl in the living room, sitting cross-legged in front of the fire, not moving. The flames burned steadily. No crackle, no warmth. May sat across from her. You haven't said anything since then. The girl looked at her. I was waiting. For what? For you to ask. May stared. Ask what? Why do you remember the song? May leaned forward. You said it was my mother's. It wasn't. May didn't speak. The girl touched the floor beside her. You sang it before she did. May frowned. I was 5. You sang it anyway. May shook her head. No one remembers what they sing at 5. You do. May looked away. The girl said, The first time she heard it, she cried. May turned back. She said she made it up. She didn't. May's voice lowered. You're lying. The girl reached for May's hand. Hold it soft. She lied because it hurt to admit it was yours. May pulled her hand back. I don't believe that. You were humming it before she ever stitched it. May whispered. I was just a kid. You made her remember. May stood. I walked toward the kitchen. You keep talking like you were there. I was close. May poured water. Let it overflow the cup. She named me after it. May stopped. The girl stood now too. The sound your voice made. She said it was the only thing that didn't burn. May leaned against the counter. Why would she name you after a song? Because it was the only thing they didn't take from her. May whispered, I don't understand. She buried everything else, but she kept the sound. May looked down at the table. She never sang after the fire. She couldn't. Why? She didn't have the right anymore. May's voice cracked. She lost it? She gave it to you. May gripped the edge of the sink. Why? Because they were going to take it from you too. May turned slowly. You said you were stitched. She wrote your name beside mine. May stepped closer. You mean in the dress? No. Where then? In the ledger she kept under the floorboard. May moved fast, pulled the loose plank from the hallway. She reached into the hollow beneath. A small book. Leather, dusty. She opened it. Names, scribbled, crossed out. dated, children, all girls. May flipped to the last page, her own name. Then beneath it, Evelyn. The girl whispered, "You sang it when she was dying." May dropped the book. "No one told me she was dying," May said. "You knew." "I was just a child." "You knew." May shook her head. "I didn't." "You stopped singing after they took her." May sat hard on the floor. What was I supposed to do? The girl sat too. You remembered the sound. That's all that mattered. May picked up the book again, touched her name. She was planning to hide me. She already had. May whispered, "Why didn't it work?" She ran out of thread. May wiped her eyes. "You said I sang first." "You did." "How do you know that?" "Because I was made from it." May looked at her. "You're not her child." "No." "You're mine?" "No." "Then what are you?" "I'm what you stitched and forgot." May stared. "You're not real." "I'm the hum you buried." May covered her mouth. "You hummed it the night she burned," the girl said. May whispered, "I don't remember." "Yes, you do." May leaned against the wall. "She said your voice saved me," the girl said. May looked up. "From what?" "The ones who took the others." "The ones with the list?" May asked. "Are they still out there?" "No." "Then what's left?" "Just the sound." May touched her throat. "I haven't sung since the fire." "I know." May stood. I walked to the fireplace. The flames were still burning. The girl followed. May whispered, "You want me to sing?" "No." "Then what?" "Just hum it." May closed her eyes. She tried. The first note cracked in her throat. The second broke in two. The third trembled. The girl touched her shoulder. "It's okay." May tried again. A low hum. Wavering. Small, then steady. The girl joined in. 2 notes, 3. The fourth held. The fire grew brighter. The shadows drew back. The girl whispered, "That's it." May opened her eyes. The room had shifted. It wasn't warmer, just clearer. The corners didn't feel so dark anymore. The house didn't groan. The dress on the chair had a new name stitched into it. Evelyn May. May whispered, "What happens now?" The girl smiled. "You remember." May said, "And you." "I rest." May crouched down. "Hold them." The thread shimmered faintly. The girl stepped away from the fire. May said, "I don't want you to leave." The girl said, "You already let me go once. You just didn't know." May stood. "Will I hear the song again?" The girl nodded. "It's yours." May reached for her hand. The girl took it. Her fingers were warm, alive, real. May whispered, "You forgave me." "I was never angry." May stepped closer. "Why me?" "You sang first." May let go of her hand. The girl faded, but not like smoke, like memories. Still there, just softer. The fire stayed lit, and May, for the first time in years, began to hum again. May hadn't opened the door since the fire. The old wing had stayed sealed, locked. The hallway still carried the faint scent of smoke, even after all these years. No one went back there, not May, not the girl, until now. The girl stood behind her. May ran her fingers across the charred edge of the doorknob. The heat from that night still lived in the metal. She turned it slowly. The hinges gave off a sound that made her breath catch. The room opened like it had been waiting. May stepped inside. Ash still clung to the corners. The floor had warped from heat. The wallpaper curled down like it was ashamed of what it remembered. It smelled like violets and soot. The girl stood in the doorway, quiet, barefoot. May moved toward the bed. It was still there. Iron frame. The one her mother had slept in before everything turned. The mattress had no sheets, no burn marks, just the shape of someone small who used to lie there. May crouched beside it, ran her hand over the rusted leg. "She never let me jump on it," she said. The girl didn't answer. May looked up at the wall. Words, dozens, scrawled in uneven handwriting, etched into the wood panels, some with a nail, others in charcoal. The lullaby, line by line, some misspelled words, some broken into pieces. May stepped closer. "This wasn't hers," she whispered. "No," the girl said. "It was yours." May touched one line near the window. "I wrote this." "You sang it," then scratched it when she wouldn't wake up. May pulled her hand back. "She used to hum it after," the girl said. May turned. "She said it came to her in a dream." "She lied." May backed up. "Why?" "She didn't want to admit it came from you." May laughed under her breath. Why would that matter? Because it made you the last voice. May stared at the floor. The girl stepped further inside. There's more, she said. May followed her. The wall beside the mirror was carved deeper than the rest, lyrics overlapping each other, verses on top of names. One section had 3 words burned in. Keep her stitched. May knelt beside it. This was her hand. Yes. May whispered, why here? This room stayed dry. May looked around. That night, the girl nodded. The fire started in the kitchen, took the hallway, but never crossed the threshold. May stood. Why? You closed the door. I was 5. You knew to shut it. May turned toward the mirror. It was cracked, still hung on its nail. The glass is cloudy at the edges. She looked into it, saw herself, then the girl, then someone else, a woman, behind them, not standing, watching. Her mother, hair half-tied, a mark on her collar, face soft, worn, familiar. May froze. The woman didn't speak, just smiled. May stepped closer. The mirror didn't fog. It didn't move. Her mother raised a hand in the glass, not to wave, just to show she was still there. May reached out. Her fingers met nothing. The woman faded. May stood still. The girl said, she comes here sometimes. May looked over. Why? To check if the song is still safe. May faced the bed. She left it in me. The girl nodded. Even after I forgot? She knew you'd hum it again. May sat on the floor. Did she know I'd find you? She hoped. May touched the base of the bed frame. What would have happened if I didn't? You'd have gone on thinking you were the last name. May looked at her. And I'm not? No. May lowered her voice. Then who was? The girl walked to the corner. There, carved into the baseboard, nearly hidden behind a strip of curled wallpaper, was one word. Adeline. May whispered, the first? Yes. May said, why isn't she in the ledger? They never put her on paper. Why? Because she hummed before she was taught. May blinked. She was like you, the girl said. But earlier, May stood. And she died. They buried her name, same as they tried with you. May walked to the window. I looked out toward the pasture. 3 graves. One never got a marker. May turned back to the mirror. She smiled at me. She forgave you. May's voice cracked. For what? For forgetting the notes. May whispered, I tried to hold on to them. You did. Even when the house burned. May looked around. The walls still carried smoke, but no heat. The girl sat on the bed. This is where she wrote my name. May sat beside her. Why here? It was the only room they wouldn't search. May said, what were they afraid of? The sound. May turned. Of a lullaby? Of remembering who it came from? May leaned forward. You said she stitched me. She did. Where? The girl reached into her dress pocket, pulled a folded scrap of cloth. It was part of the old hem. May unfolded it. Her name. Then Evie. Then Adeline. Then hers. May whispered. She stitched her own name last. She said it was the only way the thread would hold. May felt the weight of it in her hand. And you? I was the voice she left behind. May stared at her. Are you going now? The girl said, not yet. May looked around the room. The fire never reached here, she said. The girl stood. Because you kept the song alive. May walked back to the lyrics on the wall. Her fingers brushed over a verse near the top. The handwriting is smaller, softer. She whispered it aloud. The floor beneath her feet warmed. The dress in the next room fluttered. And in the mirror, her mother smiled again. The girl touched her hand. Now you remember. May nodded. I do. And the room exhaled. May woke to the sound of singing. Software slow. Not the first verse. Not the second. The last one. The part she never remembered. Not even in dreams. The girl sat in the center of the room, legs folded, eyes half shut, voice steady. May pulled herself up. You're singing it. The girl didn't stop. May listened. The melody rose from the floorboards. The walls seemed to hold it gently, like they knew what it meant. May's mouth parted. The words were already there. She began to sing with her. Their voices met in the middle of the room, like they'd always been one. The fireplace lit itself. No match, no wood, just flame. May kept singing. The girl turned her head slowly. Their eyes met. May nodded. The girl smiled faintly. Then I kept singing. Ash lifted from the corners of the room. The scent changed. Less char, more pine. The flame crackled. Blue at first, then gold. May's voice faltered. I never learned that part. You did, the girl said. When? Before forgetting. May looked down. Her hands trembled. The girl reached out. Hold them. You were 5. May nodded. I remember. You sang it into her dress. May smiled. The hem. The girl nodded. The room grew warmer. The walls breathed with them. May said, It's almost morning. The girl looked toward the window. I won't stay past light. May's voice broke. Where will you go? The girl didn't answer. May squeezed her hand. Tell me. The girl looked up. Where voices go when they're heard. May said, I'm not done listening. You are. May swallowed. Can I keep singing? The girl smiled. That's the point. The flame behind them pulsed, then stilled. May whispered, You're fading. The girl nodded. I've been fading since you opened the well. May held her face. You feel real. I was real. When you remembered. May dropped her hands. I don't want you to go. I know. May stood slowly. Come outside with me. The girl nodded. They walked down the hall together, past the mirror, past the place the ash had settled, out to the front door. The porch creaked beneath their feet. Dawn hadn't touched the sky yet, but the air had changed. The well sat at the edge of the field, still, waiting. May stepped toward it. The girl stayed back. May looked over her shoulder. Aren't you coming? I can't. May turned back to the well. The stones felt softer in the light. She leaned in, hummed. At first nothing, then an echo, her voice, then another, lower, softer, then silence. May whispered, Was that you? The girl said, That was her. May turned, Adeline. The girl nodded. She remembers now. May stepped away from the well. What happens next? You stay. May's eyes filled. And you? I've already gone. May looked hard at her. You're still here. For one last word. May said nothing. The girl stepped forward, placed her hand on May's heart, then whispered, You kept the thread. May closed her eyes. The girl stepped back. The light shifted. Bird song. The sky broke. May opened her eyes. The girl was gone. May knelt at the well, hands on the edge, breath slow. She hummed. The stones held it. The wind took nothing. Then she whispered, Thank you for bringing me home. The house behind her exhaled. The fire burned clean. The floorboards no longer groaned. The walls no longer wept. And for the first time, the land was quiet.